What's up guys, today we'll prepare the guide video for Kayangel Normal Gate 4. Gate 4 is the last dungeon, so keep up. Let's get into it. Basic term. Remembering position. In Gate 4 there is only one position you should remember. Party number times 3 plus 1. This position is going to be used several times during the main mechanic, so don't forget. Crystal. Fighting the boss, you will see white crystals as outer sections. When crystals get hit by a boss's attack, they turn yellow. If someone attacks the yellow crystal, it gives a buff to nearby players for 2 minutes. Players with buff also gains a magic ring around them. Rings allow sharing buff to party members who do not have buff yet. So it's easy to gain buff for everyone even though some are away from the yellow crystals. Simple, right? Destroy the yellow crystal and share it with party members. To explain a bit more, DPS classes must sustain the buff during the whole fight. DPS shrinks 99% if they don't have this buff. Therefore, DPS classes must refill the buff per 2 minutes. Furthermore, party members should constantly destroy yellow crystals. When players just leave yellow crystals for a long time, crystals shoot lasers toward random players. In the hard mode, the buff gets erased when you get hit by those lasers, so practice constantly destroying yellow crystals. Battle items. For battle items, thumbs up potion, potions, flame grenades, or darkness grenades. Party members should decide 2 players with flame grenade and other 2 players with darkness grenade. Flame grenade is going to be used to solve one of the basic patterns, so talk with players before you enter gate 4. Main pattern. 195, first mirror. As you enter, attack the boss to reach 195. At 195, the boss quickly disappears. Then the boss teleports to an aggro player and creates a dangerous mirror in front. If someone gets hit by the mirror, the player gets pushed away with 1 HP left. Therefore, the aggro player should not make the boss turn around and stay in front. Others, time for free DPS behind the boss. 180. The dodging floors and mirror. At 180, the boss quickly vanishes and dangerous floors appear for 3 times. First and third floors spawn below players, so party members should run to their number times 3 plus 1 position to avoid dangerous floors. After dodging floors, crystals spawn at outer sections and the boss comes down at center. From now on, DPS classes need buff to attack the boss after gaining the buff. Soon, the boss disappears and teleports to an aggro player to use mirror pattern. Unlike 195, the mirror sucks the players in front, so the aggro player must run opposite not to get hit by the mirror. Then the mirror breaks and the boss shoots laser toward the aggro player. If you're the aggro player, stay in front running away from the boss and use spacebar as the mirror breaks. To give you a small tip, there is a way to distinguish the aggro player. The boss watches the aggro player before he disappears. 140 Stagger. At 140, the boss moves to center and shoots laser to 3 different directions. To stagger the boss, party members must use this laser. At first, players run to their number times 3 plus 1 position. Then number 1 should get hit by the laser and look at number 2. Still number 1 player becomes unable to move and shoots laser in front. And this time number 2 should get hit by the laser, number 1 shot, and look at number 3. Suddenly, number 2 becomes unable to move and shoots laser in front. Number 3 do the same job. At last, number 4 must shoot the boss with laser. Then the boss gets staggered, pattern solved. Let me give you some important tips about this pattern. Number 1. Redirect laser with normal attack. As soon as you shoot laser to the next player, you can simply redirect the laser with normal attack. Stand still and click the next player. Second, avoid circles and laser. As the pattern begins, 3 circles spawn near the boss. If someone steps on it, the player becomes unable to move. In other words, pattern failed. Plus, don't get hit by the laser the boss shoots if you're not player number 1. And this laser also makes players unable to move. Number 3. Keep some distance between players. When players connect the laser and become unable to move, the yellow boundary is created around them. It steals party members who step on it, so keep some distance between players during the mechanic. And number 4. Don't look at the boss. During the stagger pattern, don't look at the boss. Your screen turns white and blurry, so look at the boss. So share your back until you connect the laser. 100. Marbles and Shadow. Marbles and Shadow is the most difficult mechanic in Game 4, so concentrate. At 100, boss moves to center and safe zone appears in the middle. Get inside the safe zone to dodge the explosion. After the explosion, the boss fills the entire map with marbles. As marbles spawn, 2 room marks among 8 of them shine in order. And those room marks show where safe zones will be after eating marbles, so remember. In the video, first room mark was 7, second room mark was 3. While room marks shine, the boss reveals color of marbles for a few seconds. Half of them are white and half of them are black. In order to solve the mechanic, each player must eat 5 white marbles. To explain in detail, watch the color of marbles inside the safe zone and remember white marbles which appeared in your position. Then run to your number time 3+1 position. Quickly eat 5 white marbles you saw. If some white marbles are left, ping the white marbles to help others who need them. Someone will come over and eat white marbles you pinged. When you successfully absorb 5 white marbles, you can get a protective shield. Now, you need to run to safe zones. Remember those room marks? First one was 7. Soon, Shadow appears and the boss tries to kill players who are not standing on the Shadow. Get inside the Shadow to survive. Second one was 3. Do the same to solve the mechanic. Let me share some tips to prevent mistakes. Number 1. Don't get outside the safe zone until the second room mark shines. If you step outside before the second room mark, you can get killed immediately. Be careful. Number 2. Don't eat black marbles. When you eat a black marble, you get stunned for a few seconds. It's okay to eat black marbles after eating 5 white marbles. Until then, don't. Number 3. How to use time stop potion. After eating 5 white marbles, you need to get inside the Shadow. However, what if no one knows where the Shadow will appear? And use time stop potion to survive. 1, 2, now. 60. Statue Pattern. Statue Pattern is similar to the one you saw in Vikings Gate 3. At 60, the boss moves to center. Party members should gather at 12 o'clock to solve the mechanic. Soon the boss sends everyone to individual dimension. Inside the dimension, player's goal is to stagger the real statue and escape. And how can we distinguish the real statue? When you enter another dimension, you can see 3 objects at outer sections: pillars, room pillars, and statues. Starting 12 o'clock, party members can run clockwise and ping room pillars. If everyone pinged their room pillars, there must be a statue with ping in your dimension. And that's a real one. If you get close to the statue, Stagger bar appears. Stagger the statue to escape. Let me give you some tips. Number 1. Ping room pillars first. Sometimes you can find a real statue quickly when they're at 1 o'clock. However, you must find other room pillars first before you stagger your statue. Finish running clockwise to ping all room pillars first, then come back to stagger your statue. If you don't, someone will get confused as your ping will be late. Number 2. Golden Footprint. Even though party members are separated, you can still know where they are. There are golden footprints running around the map. Run together to find room pillars. Number 3. Don't get close to statues while running. While you run clockwise, you will meet 4 statues. Whether if it's real or not, Stagger bar appears if you get close. Once Stagger bar disappears, it takes time for a second chance. Therefore, don't get close to statues while you're running. Below 60, Shadow and Mirror. In random, room mark shines and tells us where a safe zone will be. You already experienced it once during Marbles and Shadow mechanic. However, it's upgraded. The moment you hide under the Shadow, the boss pulls players with Mirror. Even though you hid under the Shadow, the boss strongly pulls players. You can get dragged outside if you do not calculate that you are going to get pulled out. Therefore, keep running toward the wall not to get pulled out. As soon as Shadow disappears, the boss shoots laser toward an aggro player. Dodge the laser. Many players get pulled by the boss and get killed. When you're not sure, just use time stop potion. Use time stop when the boss stares, and then escape pressing spacebar. Important pattern. 270 degrees slash. The boss stares one aggro player holding a sickle. When the boss slashes a large area, stay behind the boss besides the aggro player. Imprison. The boss spins holding a sickle and sickles hover around the map following players. If you're too close to the boss, you get imprisoned. If you get hit by following sickles, you also get imprisoned. Soon, imprisoned players get dragged by the boss and it explodes. The more people get imprisoned, the more damage you get. Supporters should give shield to imprisoned players to save them. Hammer 1. The boss grabs players on blue zone and strikes the ground, and it triggers the land explosion toward the aggro player. Get out using spacebar. Hammer 2. The boss grabs players on blue zone and strikes the ground, and red zone explodes and donuts constantly spawn. Dodge the land explosion to survive. Per even number donut explosion, the yellow circles spawn beneath players, so be careful. Bow 1. The boss shoots in sector form toward an aggro player. If you're an aggro player, get close to the boss and dodge sector form. If you're not the aggro player, leave straight floors at the edge. Bow 2. Target mark is given to one random player. The boss shoots arrows for 3 times. Arrows come back like boomerang, so be aware. If you get it, red zone explodes below you. You'll get out quick using spacebar. Basic pattern. Flame grenade. The boss summons rings. When someone gets close to rings, they stop moving and quickly rushes toward the player. Rings imprison players, so try to dodge them. However, this pattern can be used for free DPS timing. You just get close to the boss for free DPS and 2 players throw flame grenade below their feet. As the pattern ends, flame grenade slowly saves imprisoned players. Under 60, just dodge rings instead of using flame grenades. Bends. The boss rises and a line follows one random player. The land explodes twice in bend shape and red zones explode. Use spacebar to dodge the red zone. L explosion. L-shaped floor appears below players and the boss flashes for 3 times. Leave floors at the edge and gather center. AoE spear. The boss creates yellow circles below players and tries AoE spear attack at the end. AoE arrow. The boss creates dangerous floors in order. 1 arrow floor, then 2, and then 3. Then donuts slowly attack spreading. Dodge arrow floors and gather a center after the donut explosion. Step back. The boss steps back and attacks front. Light explosion 1. The boss shoots aura and land explodes. It can explode in round shape or wheel shape. Light explosion 2. The boss shoots rune spheres and land explodes. It can explode in 2 ways. First and second. And that's it for Gate 4. And now you can try the last dungeon of Kayangel. Thank you for watching our video, and please feel free to join our channel if you liked our video. Thank you.